So let's go back to where it all started, where it all begins. It's about how you become isolated. Narcissists, they like to make you feel dependent on the narcissist, and they like to circle around you and enclose you. And that is what happens when they dismantle your support structure. Now, my work within narcissistic abuse has always been about taking your power back and being able to empower yourself in order to heal and to learn from this experience of narcissistic abuse, and so that you will never find yourself in another situation like it again. So that is why understanding your support structure is a very important part of this dynamic. Just when you need the love and the support and the structure the most, you have already been made to feel and believe that you are defective and that everything you do and everything you say is wrong and may even seem crazy to every single person around you, because without you knowing it, the narcissist has been covering their tracks, so to speak, by smearing you and then accusing you of doing what exactly they have been doing all along. So for people looking in at this relationship from the outside, the wrong person is actually the right person, if that makes sense. And the right person is actually the wrong person, and everything gets turned upside down, inside out, and on its head. And I barely made it out of this exact same damaging lethal situation alive. And when I was unraveling all of it to find my way through, to find a way through all of this, and I discovered that there was no way to heal from this situation, but then there was a way to heal. And in this episode, I would like to describe and explain to you how I personally was able to escape the loneliness and the awful side effects of isolation that the narcissist can bring about, and so can you. Maybe like my previous self, or the person who I was before narcissistic abuse, your support structures have been a bit scanty, to say the least. And maybe you've always felt alone or misunderstood. You felt like the scapegoat or the black sheep of the herd, and you've always been on your own. You haven't been able to fully trust and connect to anyone since you can remember. And then the narcissist came into your life, and it seemed like they were the light of your life, and they got who you are. They just got you. You clicked, and they were your entire world, and you thought that they felt the same. So maybe your support structures and your interest as life and your life was, again, scanty or non-existent, and maybe you gave up that support system very, very easily because this narcissist became your world very quickly. I don't know. I'm not saying that was your life. It was definitely mine, though, and it is just something for you to ponder, as this is what happens when a narcissist becomes the center of our universe, for better or for worse. And it's like, oh my God, I feel so connected to you. I feel so amazing. You're so amazing. But later on, it's more like Stockholm syndrome and trauma bonding, and it's going to be insane because of what you are, or what the narcissist is or isn't doing, what they are or aren't doing. So how do you start to feel defective and misunderstood? And when this happens, that it happens from being isolated covertly or overtly, and you've just given up your rights, or you've just fallen into the isolation, and you start to feel extremely misunderstood and even defective, like the narcissist has been saying that you are, as they have eroded, the narcissist in your life have eroded your voice, your rights, your self-esteem, and your very life force. And when you try to tell people what's going on, they don't believe you, because the truth is stranger than fiction. Narcissistic abuse is stranger than fiction, and you cannot even begin to imagine. People can't begin to imagine what narcissistic abuse is like if they haven't gone through it, because it seems insane. People don't treat other human beings like this, and you're telling them things that have been happening, and they can't even wrap their head around it. They can't comprehend the things that you are telling them, and you can't even comprehend them, for that matter. So you sound like a crazy person, or like there's something wrong with you. Of course, the narcissist is doing the street angel, being extremely nice and lovey to other people. They may even be telling people that they adore you and they care about you because they want you to look even more like the crazy one, and that they're just so worried about you and whatever they're playing and whatever their aim is, whatever their agenda is, people probably aren't believing you about what is going on or that something is going on. And maybe because this was my thing too, you may have come from a very painful and difficult relationship in your past, and then people you've been trying to convince, oh no, it's different this time around. This person is really, really great. This person is the love of my life. And you get scared sometimes, and you try to be reserved about that with the narcissist because of the way that things have worked out in the past. And then when things finally do start to go wrong, you don't want to admit to it sometimes, and you don't want to admit that you've got it wrong again, or that you are not happy again, or that something is just wrong in general, or maybe you're embarrassed and trying to keep up a really good front to everybody. But whichever way it's going, you're feeling isolated and misunderstood regardless. So there's smearing and abuse by proxy. This is when things can take a turn for the worse and the cracks get deeper and bigger. It will lead to smearing, triangulation, and abuse by proxy. And let me explain to you what these mean briefly. When things start getting really bad in your narcissistic relationship, and the narcissist covers their tracks by smearing your name into the ground, so everything they're doing, again, they're accusing you of doing these things. Again, for people looking in, the wrong person is actually the right person. The right person is actually the wrong person. And the narcissist could be setting up sources of narcissistic supply on the side, because narcissists, as we all know, are drug addicts, and narcissistic supply, power, and control is the name of the game. It is attention, it is energy, it is resources. And when they start wearing you down and you are running out of that life force, they are ready to jump ship. It is exactly like a drug addict that has multiple drug dealers. And when they're going to run out of a drug or narcissistic supply from one drug dealer or one victim, they need to have others waiting in the wings as backup just in case. So they've already been grooming. They've long since been grooming other sources of supply and already have them lined up on the side. And now what they need to do is make sure that you do not find out about this at all costs, and that the other sources of supply don't find out about it at all costs, unless, of course, you're going to hang around. And if you do find out and get even more upset and incensed about it, and that will give the narcissist an even bigger feed of significance, or an even bigger hit to the ego. But if they were going to lose you or lose the new source of supply, if they say everybody found out the truth about the situation, if sources of supply were to compare notes and figure out what the narcissist has been lying about all along, they can't afford to see us together, so they have to see us apart. So this situation, this will be somebody that they may talk about every so often, but they don't like that person for whatever reason. This person's horrible, but in reality, they're actually having an affair with this person, and they're going to tell them that you two are not, that you're sleeping in separate beds, and that you're arguing, and you're getting a separation, or the papers haven't been filed yet. All sorts of crazy stuff goes down with triangulation. And abuse by proxy is where they're telling, like, say, authorities or friends or family that you're doing all of this horrible stuff to them that they are actually doing to you, and then the other people come after you and start abusing you too, thinking that you are an abuser, thinking that you are a narcissist or a bad person. And all of this stuff is absolutely horrible. It is dismantling you, and it is making you feel even more isolated, even more depressed, and just awful. I know you guys know exactly what I'm talking about too, because you've been through it. And these are in the advanced disintegration stages of a narcissistic relationship where you feel so isolated. So how to heal from this? The good news is, well, what the bad news used to be back in the day is when I was unraveling and finding a way through this, I truly couldn't see a way to heal from all of this. But I'm going to be really straightforward with you. There was and always has been a way to heal, and you could just hope to get out traumatized and half dead and hope to somehow get on with your life, which most people didn't and don't do very effectively. Some do very well, but some don't. But again, the good news is there is a way to heal from this. There are multiple ways to heal from this, and that's what we are, what I am so proud of and what we are so proud of here at Narcissistic Abuse 101 is that this is about a true healing. This is about a spiritual awakening. It's about realizing that this is a deep healing opportunity for you because you have felt alone and misunderstood all of this time. And when we're in that place, what happens is our left brain is in overdrive. It's in panic and fear and trauma, and we feel helpless and hopeless. And from the outside, we're trying to find something from the outside to make it feel better, to fix us, kind of like a drug, to give us information, to give us a lifeline, to give us a rope to get out of this big black hole that we have found ourselves in. However, that is not the answer to this. So this great awakening, this spiritual opportunity of healing from narcissistic abuse is the understanding that the more you want support from things outside of you, when you haven't yet learned to support and heal yourself, the less support you are going to get. The law of so within and so without. People will turn away from you. Authorities will not help you. In court systems, you will lose, and it is just the truth, and it is horrible, and it is unjust. But what does happen when you understand that this is an inner journey of coming home to yourself and doing the healing deeply within to release the trauma and replace it with your highest self and consciousness, and replace it with your true inner power and happiness? You begin to reintegrate, to re-partner with your true self. You begin to heal, and you begin to find a confidence that you have not yet ever known, possibly in your entire life. And then comes the truth, the solutions, and sometimes even a miracle. Hey guys, I'm Sara A. Brown, the creator of Narcissistic Abuse 101. And if you are interested in donating to my cause, again, Narcissistic Abuse 101, providing people with free coaching, funding live speaking events, the production of my newest book, and some really cool stuff, you can click the PayPal link in my bio. And if you are interested in private one-on-one coaching with me, again, Sara Ann Brown, you can click the email button in my bio to get a hold of me. Again, I do not accept direct messages. Email only, please. And again, serious inquiries only, please. Thanks, guys.